The landscapes of our lives are for learning, where experience is our teacher. When we gather together to share our resources, we are destined to love and thrive.
Good morning, Maureen.
Good morning, Pierre.
Oh gosh,
We
we're
have
laughing.
another big subject to discuss.
A big subject, and I'm going to try and keep us to 5 minutes on a big subject. I got a little timer here. This will be absolutely hilarious. The big subject is good and bad, good and evil. Oh my goodness gracious!
So
It's
we're
one
going
of
to
my.
try to have a learning conversation about good and bad. Okay, go ahead. You start.
All right. Well, somebody, Bikram, actually, in our teacher training, gave me one of the better and it could be the best explanation of why good triumphs over evil that I've ever heard. And it's one of those Indian kind of explanations. You know,
Yes.
it's practical at some level, and the explanation of why good triumphs over evil is that evil stops somewhere. Maybe you kill 7 million people. Maybe you kill 30 million people. 7 million Jews die and 30 million Ukrainians die in the Stalin purges and all of this. But at some point, evil stops. And when you look at a good deed, you never know where that stops.
The
Somebody,
butterfly effect, is that what you're talking about?
not
Ripple,
really.
ripple effect.
No, I'm not maybe it's that, maybe it resonates with the universe. We can talk about that a little
Well,
bit, but
one person helps another, and then that passes on. Is that what you mean?
that's what I mean. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Yeah.
ripple
Yeah.
effect.
Yeah. What I mean is when my parents passed and we had memorial celebration of life services, the people that came up to me and said that I never knew, you know, my parents helped them in some way and it changed their life. And then that changed somebody else's life and so on and so on. And it's true. And what we were also talking about is, um, you know, uh, most of the world is filled with good. I mean, we sit here right now, we're not, it's kind of good. And we focus on the negative, that the evil that happens.
Yeah, I think we talk about like basic goodness of existence, of just like being here, being alive, being in the world is like there's a basic goodness. And I think I was telling you about a book I was reading, um,
Shambhala.
Shambhala, The Path of the Warrior. And
What does Shambhala mean, Maureen?
oh, you had to ask me. I don't have the book in front of me. I
That's
don't
okay.
know. I can't tell you at the moment, but he does explain it.
Okay.
Um, but anyways, it's just this concept of a basic goodness. And he defines it in the book differently than just good and bad behavior, but like a basic goodness of our nature. And that gets clouded over by kind of, or the weeds grow
Okay.
over it
Okay.
within us through our lives and our busyness in the world and so forth. And a lot of people lose connection to their sense of basic goodness, like you are here, you're alive, you are that organic energy of existence, of being, is basically your basic goodness. And I mean, I think it's a central aspect of Buddhist philosophy, if you will.
Okay.
But like I like that
Yeah.
conceptualization, because
And did you mention that Pema Chodron is kind of tied
yeah,
into this?
she talks about that too. But I think this guy Rinpoche was her teacher, or one
Oh,
of the
right.
teachers in that lineage. So when I
Right.
read some of her stuff, I can hear that she refers to that basic goodness of our nature. It's kind of like you don't have to do anything for me to love you unconditionally.
Right.
You are just basically good, like
Yep.
have value, you matter, you're
Right.
that kind of thing.
Right. No, and we live in a world where all these evil things are kind of focused on. It drives newspaper sales, media sales, it drives clicks in the internet universe. And
Because it's fear based, because it's fear, and people react immediately to anything that's threatening or fearful. You're going to get my attention with that negativity because it's a perceived threat, and it
and
gets us
isn't
on
it
alert and paying attention. So we'll buy stuff and we'll do whatever you want because I'm afraid, right? It's
and
like,
isn't it interesting that you're, postulating that we live in a state of goodness? And so if something is not good and, you have fear, isn't it kind of interesting that that's what's getting our attention? Because normally we're living in a balanced, good state. And so when it's disturbed, it triggers a whole lot of effect in us, and it might be something that we want to attend to and get rid of, and then that's exploited in a certain way, right?
mhm, mhm.
So it's almost as though the fact that it does get our attention tells us that the normal state is not that.
Yeah. And you say it like that's a sad thing.
No, I don't say it's a sad thing.
Oh,
It's just,
okay. But I
no,
misperceived what you thought. Like, yeah, I mean, we're kind of built to be defensive because the world's a dangerous place. But that doesn't mean we don't have a basic goodness to like deal with that. and
right,
and so it's actually just that self knowledge of knowing like, oh, like, okay, I'm typically ready to be on defense and to be able to react and to protect myself and keep myself going. But
right,
also, like, once I kind of manage that system within myself of like, fear, then the defenses can lower, and then you can sharing that basic goodness and connecting with others through love. And because when the fear mode's way up and that's all we're focused on, which is kind of our culture is forcing us to pay attention to that all the time,
right.
there's less openness and vulnerability to love, to let the light
Right.
in, to let the light out,
Right.
right, and
Well,
connect.
another big subject, how we regulate and self-regulate our system around these, influences. I think you're exactly right. If you're living on the edge of, survival, then you're not going to be as able to, regulate in this, harmonious, good
connect
state.
connect socially, yeah, literally, just practically
Yeah.
connect with other people and trust. And that fear just continues to separate us. The defenses go up, and
Yeah.
you know
Well, that's the big subject of good and evil. We'll wrap that up, but just a reminder that there's good all around us. And when we take time to find it, we'll see it everywhere.
and the basic goodness within, and look
Yeah,
there too and get in touch and contact with your basic goodness. That's who we all are.
that's
And
who
so
we
once
are.
you find it in yourself, you're going to see it in others. Like you just said, when you see it everywhere, when it is you, it's all of us.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Don't let that fear clog up everything with weeds, you know?
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's overpowering. Well, this is Pierre from Yoga Heals this morning, just wrapping up good and evil in this world.
And
We
we
have,
laugh because there's no way. And we started out saying a big subject. Learning conversations is literally just that. We're playing with these ideas, we're chatting about them. And as we're
well,
chatting, we're learning and we're figuring out, and there's no, we're just playful way of kind of talking about ideas. It's the way we learn.
right, right. And we'll drop some show notes in Pima Chodron and
Right.
you know,
Links. Shambhala. I'll tell you what the definition is in the show notes.
Okay, good. We'll look forward to them.
All right.
This is Pierre from Yoga Heals. Peace through grace, folks. Peace through grace.
Maureen, Landscapes for Learning. Learn to live and then live to learn.
Awesome.